I'ma stay touching all kinds of paper, and I ain't never gonna give a fuck about a hater, cause I know I got soul, baby, baby. What up, gang, gang, gang? You already know what it is. This is Guy King TV. I'm Patai, and I know I've been gone for a while. I know y'all been like, yo, where Patai been at, man? Told y'all, I'm grinding, but I always wanted to stay tapped in with you, give you guys some good game, chop it up with you. So, what I've been noticing when I was online over the last couple of days in terms of social media is this delusion of hypergamy with women. And, you know, I wanted to talk more about what you can expect from what a real hypergamous nature of a woman is. Now, this is not to say that all women are like this. This is not to say that all women require the same things in terms of hypergamy. So this is for the women who watching it also. So I came across a meme. It was a tweet, really. It was a tweet of what some girl said regarding what pretty much her stipulations on what she wants. She pretty much went to the delusional path of saying, before I give a nigga a baby, he has to make sure I'm in a brand new house, a brand new car, and he has to put a ring on it. Then she further goes on to say, then he has to give me $100,000 for an inconvenience fee for me having a baby. So that can take care of, you know, the $100,000 for the inconvenience fee. Then she said he has to pay for her Brazilian butt lift and get her titties done. So when I see things like this, the conversation, you know, I process it and I say to myself, all she had to say is, I don't want a baby. You know, you're trying to find a way to finesse men. You know, when I hear this from a woman making claims like this, I see online when I made a post like that, a lot of the women co-signed the shit. They say they don't see nothing wrong with it. But the thing about it is, when I see women saying things like that, the majority of women who are saying that are single mothers. So it makes me discount your rationale anyway. It makes me not even put you in the same context of what a regular woman would say. I would rather look to a woman who is doing that to say, well, this is why, you know, this is why I did that, this is why I did that. But the average woman who say these type of things or make these claims and have these stipulations are not the type of women who can bring something to the table. When I look at that as a man, and this is why I love having context when I talk, because a lot of the times context is very important when we talk about what's going on. The context of a situation like that, as a man, even if I had the money, I would look at that and say, well, this is not the type of woman that I would do that for anyway. Why? Because we have a choice of saying what we want to say. And so as a person who looks to what communication is, and I see through a lot of things, when I hear a woman say things like that, that pretty much tells me that you really don't want a child. That lets me know that you don't have no accountability. That lets me know that if you really don't want a child and you really don't care about who you're with, then why are you even making claims like that? Just say, hey, I'm broke and I would rather have a nigga pay me for a baby. If you want a baby from me, pay me for it. Just say that. All that other stuff is stuff that you can take care of yourself, because now it sounds like you're a user. And the reason why this is a fucked up situation where we have to be real about what hypergamy is, and we have to be real about it in the way of understanding it. See, as a man who got game and a spiritual gangster, a man of certain class and caliber is going to look at that and just laugh. I'm like, at the end of the day, it doesn't apply to nobody like me. Even if a woman was around me like that, even if I had, you know, spare $100,000 to give away, I would not do nothing like that, because if I'm dealing with a certain type of woman, these are things that she can take care of herself. I'm aware of that, you know, it takes two, but when we're talking about you trying to exploit hypergamy, and this is for the women, I would like to see women who do it in a healthy way. That has nothing to do with dowry. That has nothing to do with any of that. What are you able to do for yourself? Because when I look at that and I read that tweet, I should put it in this video, is She said, you know, before I have a child, the nigga has to put me in this, he has to do this, he has to do that. What that conveys is that you have control over yourself and when and under the circumstances that you want to have a baby. So you have control over that. But then the latter part of that comment or that tweet, you show right then and there that you have no accountability. You pretty much say, and you contradict yourself, and you say, I need $100,000 because this nigga inconvenienced me. If you don't want a baby, like Michael Jackson say, if you don't want a baby, don't have a baby. If you can't afford a baby, don't have a baby. Like, this is not just the man's fault. And this is not hypergamy. This is you actually using somebody. So it's very important that I bring that up before I go into what I'm talking about. Now, when we talk about hypergamy, as I said to the fellas on some real red pill game, every woman is hypergamous by nature. But you have to be able to understand that every woman does not look at hypergamy in the same aspect of it's just material shit. There's women out here who understand hypergamy on its highest level. And this is very important for y'all to know. Hypergamy on its highest level is not about material things. Hypergamy on its highest level is you being a man of caliber in terms of not even just status, but spiritual knowledge, wisdom, principles. You see what I'm saying? All these things are fundamental for you to understand that this is hypergamy on its highest level. Because a man with wisdom and discipline is a man that can go through so much in life and be able to come out not unscathed, but come out courageously, honestly, and come out and be able to do amazing things. You're going to always have battles. This is man one-on-one. You know you're going to always have battles. It don't matter if you're going to deal with the spiritual aspect, you dealing with women, or just the hurdles of life. You're going to always have that, but attributes is something you can't buy. And what you got to know about that is this. All women got pussy. All women got pussy. But every woman ain't got access to a man with wisdom, knowledge, understanding. You see what I'm saying? Principles and virtues that you cannot buy. You have to cultivate these. You see what I'm saying? So your pussy or your equal exchange of if you're going to deal with a certain type of woman, it's going to be your caliber of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you have. Trust me, these women out here bad. That's why they trying to do things and pull things like this. But understand this. Those are things that simps will override and overlook just to get some pussy. That's not your problem. That's not for you to have to deal with. You a man of wisdom and understanding, and you got principles, and you discipline. You don't let your dick motherfucking think for you. So you're not worrying about what women say or what they try to do. You have the ability to discern what type of woman you want to deal with and when you want to deal with it. This is red pill game on its highest level. This is not knuckle dragging game. Now, they do parallel to a degree, but the difference is we're talking about wisdom. We're talking about knowledge. We're talking about spiritual attributes that you cannot buy. And these are the things that women cannot get from you. They can't get this from the average man. They can't do an average man the way they can't do a spiritual man. They can do an average knuckle dragging guy like it ain't nothing. And yeah, so it's hard for a woman to do a man of principles and a man with virtues like discipline, charisma, being self-reliant, independent, a man who's smart, a man who's engaged in his purpose. A woman can't get to you like that. They can only do that to low-level niggas. So you got to understand that when you're dealing with hypergamy, you have to be realistic about where do you fit in terms of where hypergamy on a woman's spectrum would be. Where would you fit in? Now, you fit in where you choose to fit in. What that means is this. If you know you that nigga, then you that nigga. I know I'm that nigga. Always been that nigga. And it's about the fact that I know who I am. I'm sure. I'm purpose-driven. I got all these attributes that, in so many words, this is my pussy. My pussy is all this shit that they trying to get from you. So this is what they do. The same way we try to get pussy, the same way women try to get a man. And don't ever, 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 ever think that a woman ain't out here trying to get a motherfucking man. They'll talk all that goofy ass shit, but they really out here trying to get a man because they know they don't feel complete and whole without a man. Think about what it sounds like if a man says, I don't need no bitch. This is why I told y'all. My page ain't the same type of page these other pages is. A man does not feel that he's able to go to the next level unless he's dealing with a woman. But you got to understand how that works out. When you're playing a video game, in the beginning, you might not mind playing it on the easy levels, right? But it's not fun on the easy levels. You want some challenges because we're men. We want challenges. So dealing with easy women is not going to challenge you. And I'm not saying dealing with trauma-laden bitches. I'm talking about you being able to understand that to play the game of life on its highest level in terms of you learning how to interact with women, you have to play it on a level where you gradually find yourself on a certain level and you say, yo, these bitches ain't it for me. This is where you start to realize what level of women that you are able to be around. You got some niggas who play it safe. They play it safe with low-level women who don't got nothing to bring to the table. You got it where niggas play these safe games on levels where even about their looks, it's about the perspective that these women have, where their mind is, where their brain at, what they got to offer. And you realize that it works the same way. It mirrors the same thing. Women know they can't play these games with certain type of niggas. So it works the same way. When you know you that type of nigga, you meet your level. You want to meet your level. You want a woman who compliments you. So when you want a woman that compliments you, you got to know that there's certain characteristics that are going to be exchanged. Now, going back to what I was talking about earlier, what these women or that lady that was talking about on that tweet, she's not realistic. The delusion that hypergamy can bring that a lot of women have is this. This is the hypergamy delusion. The hypergamy delusion is that a woman thinks that she has more to offer than she does just because she has looks and she has a pussy. That's by default. The feminine in nature is glamour, is beauty by nature. So a man is attracted to beauty and glamour with visual, right? But the thing that caps on that when it comes to women dealing with a man of certain quality and status and a caliber is that we already are aware that beauty is a weakness to us, but we also understand how to overcome that beauty. This is why it's very important for y'all to understand how powerful NoFap is. When you can discipline yourself, when you can watch the baddest bitches online, you ain't got to talk to these hoes. You ain't got to do that. They're not real women in real life tangibly that you can touch. But these are women who can satisfy a Neptunian urge, a fantasy, you know, a moment of lust. But it's not that it's good for you at the same time. But what you realize is that I can go that route. But when we're talking about dealing with the hypergamy illusion and delusion, what we realize is this. Women who make these crazy stipulations that they put on their pussy, but at the same time don't want you to objectify them, are delusional. You're putting value on your pussy and who you are. These are false values. This is not something that you can appraise. So it's weird when we see women talk about, I want a man to have $100,000 in dowry for me. He got to have me in a car. He got to have me this. What women don't realize in terms of men and what we look at, which is one of the reasons why it's hard for the feminine and the masculine in this day and age to see eye to eye, is because the majority are not trying to see what the other person's trying to see or go where the other person's trying to go. They're trying to get over on each other. And when women are trying to get over on men, it's going to backfire on you. It's going to backfire on you every single time. And you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. Let me tell you right now, off the rip, men get hurt in this arena too. You know, men don't get to see their children. Men get put on child support. That shit is fucked up. But the emotional baggage that you also bring to the table is very trauma-laden when you're talking about dealing with the kids. But back to the hypergamy thing. The reality is this. If you're not able to appraise yourself on a certain level, ladies, you're already doing yourself a disservice. If you're not seeing that you have two options, the two options that you have are either I'm going to be an asset to this man or I'm going to be a liability to this man. And then you have to know, which one do I want to be? Because if you actually care about somebody and you actually love somebody, you're looking to be an asset. You should know off the rip that your pussy is free. That's complimentary, motherfucker. That shit come with the territory. You're a woman. Pussy comes with it. That's out of the motherfucking, that's out of the deal. What do you have to offer? What do you bring to the table? Because any man with $40 can get pussy. And so what do you have to offer? And this is one of the things that if you are a woman looking at this video and you find yourself having these delusions of grandeur when it comes to hypergamy, and you know you don't have nothing to offer, maybe you should work on spending time figuring out, what can I offer a man? What type of asset am I? Because these things are going to be very important when you try to go up the ranks and you think that you're going to get this top tier man. When you reach the top tier, you have to know now that you're playing in the big girl leagues. The big girl leagues is where bitches really got their shit going on. Bitches are really doing things. And men are looking to see that. Now, there's always going to be a lot of situations where there's aspects about men that differ from women. One of the main things that differ from women and men is that women aim high. Men, we necessarily don't really care. If we balling and we got bread, we want you to be hungry and tenacious about life. We want you to have certain aspects that we can see that you are an asset to us. We we personally don't care off top if you're making 100,000 plus a year. We're not necessarily looking for that. We're looking to see if you can be an asset or a liability to us, because we actually want to like you first. We want to like you. We really want to like you. If we're talking about investing in our future, because once again, men are long-term thinkers. So if we're looking to actually be with a woman, we want to know that she has something that she can bring to the table. Men don't mind taking care of women, but you got to be worth it to us. Now, this goes back to women not understanding that if you ain't selling what I'm trying to buy, then what the fuck are you trying to persuade me to buy something from you? You're talking about stipulations and things that you didn't even talk about what you own. What do you have to offer? These are things that's very important for a woman to have to know. You have to know this. When you're dealing with men, we deal with a different type of form of what you would call hypergamy. What we call hypergamy for what women do, men look at it totally different. We, on the highest level, a man of principles, of wisdom and understanding, and he got something going for himself and he's purpose-driven, you have to know that a man who is purpose-driven already going to tell you off top, nothing going to come between me and my purpose, because he's really purpose-driven. But if you're a top-tier woman, you should know that you want a man who's purpose-driven, so you want to know that you should come second. But what that means is that you are not to be hindering a man. You're supposed to be aiding. And he's going to do the same thing for you. It's teamwork. It's not you and him against each other. It's you and him against the world. So if you're not aiding to that, then you're just being a parasite. And you might as well just go and sell pussy, really. Just go and sell pussy if you're not really genuinely going to be trying to help a man. And it's vice versa. If a nigga just going to be in the way of just wanting to fuck bitches all day and not, find a way to have purpose. Find great women to have purpose with. One thing that I don't do is just down women on my page. I talk the real shit. And the truth of the matter is, if you can deal with if you can discern, and this is for the fellas, if you can discern what type of woman that you need in your life, they are very, very valuable to you. We're talking about understanding science on a high level. Women are very magnetic and very important when it comes to bringing things in your life, having access to different energy that we don't necessarily have off the top that can help us. And we need that motivation. We always need it. But hypergamy, the delusion of it, women have to understand this. If you are not able to bring certain things to the table, you have to understand that you are a liability. If you're delusional about what you bring to the table, you are a liability. You are not an asset. And these are the things that it's very important that you hear. You may not like it, but that's what men are for. Men are going to tell you the truth. A man like me, I want to see everybody win. I want to see men win. I want to see women win. But what you ain't going to do is you ain't going to use each other. That's coming from me. Now, we use each other in an exchange that's complementary. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being very manipulative and having this narcissistic approach to how you deal with people. That's what I'm talking about. But I didn't want to be too long. I just wanted to chop some game and talk it up with y'all, man. So, like, share, subscribe. You already know what it is, man. Chill.
I'ma stay touching all kinds of paper, and I ain't never gonna give a fuck about a hater, cause I know I got soul, baby. Baby, I'm gon' shine forever, and I'ma stay touching on that wood and leather, cause I know I got soul.